Hello, hello. Angela Wolf here, Brother Brand Ambassador, and it is fabulous to see you this week. So I'm kind of laughing because as the winter gets on, I don't even think we had fall, but I'm laughing because there's so much snow outside right now, and I'm just going to hang inside and sew. I don't know about you, but I hope all of you that in the USA that celebrated Thanksgiving, hope you had a great weekend. I was stuck in between snowstorms, but I'm back in the studio, safe and sound, and there's like this much snow. I'm not even kidding. So now, you know what that means? It's a great time to start working on holiday items. So don't forget about the holiday gift guide. That is still there. There are a ton of great deals in there. And don't forget Artspira. I don't remember the deadline, so hopefully I didn't miss it for you, but I know they're giving away, not giving away, but you can have a free month of the Plus. So don't forget about that. If it expired on yesterday, I'm sorry, but I think it was for a few more weeks. I guess we'll find out. So I see everybody rolling in. Yes, we are live today, and we've got Tina on here, and you know, she has the coolest ideas and the coolest things. Wait till you see her background, by the way. I'm always envious of this. And so pop in, say hi, everyone. Let's welcome Tina to the party. Tina, how are you?
Good morning. I am cold, but I don't have snow like you, but I'm freezing. I had to turn up the heat twice this morning.
So, you know, I have to laugh. This is so, and by the way, thank you everyone for the birthday wishes. The Brother fans are awesome. My birthday was Saturday, and here's the thing. My husband bought me a month ago a pair of boots. They were from Canada. He said, these are so warm. They even have like a little clip at the bottom for ice. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, these are very cute. I don't ever see having to wear these. We haven't had snow in years. I think it was like a premonition because that's all I'm wearing.
Oh, that's funny.
I know, and I have little ice walkers. So Tina, I'm very excited to see you. I love the green theme we've got going on, and I can't wait for today because you're going to show a couple features on here that we've shown a couple times, but not in detail, and everyone has questions. What machines are these on? Where would I use this?
Okay. Well, I don't know about you guys, but you know, the concept of repeating a design to create a lot more visual interest is a really fun one. And today I'm going to be using the brand new PR1060W, and we're going to spend most of our time on a feature that's called matrix copy that makes that super easy. But I'm also going to cover the border function at the beginning because depending on the machine you have, you may not have matrix copy, but you have the border function and they do very similar things, right? So first of all, matrix copy is on the PR1060W, and it's also on the Stellaire machine. And then your other machines like the Luminaire and the Avenir, they don't have matrix copy, but they have the border function. And I'll show you both so you kind of get a feel of what they are and how they work. All right, so
Tina, I have a question for you. Everybody's rolling in. They say they love their, Julie says that she loves the matrix feature on her Stellaire. If you could give the first top pick of where you would use either of those, what would come first to your mind?
I mean, honestly, patches is where my mind goes out of the gate, right? Because typically patches are small and we have these giant hoops now, right? And so being able to fill a hoop with lots of patches makes your life quicker and easier.
That is true. My mind went to trim on a sleeve. You know, I love embellishing sleeves, but I love the border feature for that. Not so much the matrix, but the border feature for that. So we'll let everyone leave their comments while you take it away, and we'll see if they catch on to anything that you're working on.
All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to step over to the machine and we're just going to get started. And the first thing I'm going to actually show you is a patch. So see, she asked me a really well-timed question. So I'm going to make a little cherry patch here. So I'm going into the main menu item here, and I'm just going to scroll down until I get these adorable little cherries, all right? And then we'll set it. Now, and I've got the 8 by 14 inch hoop on the machine, right? So I can certainly fit more than one cherry on there. But I'm going to start by making it a patch because right now it's an embroidery design and it really wouldn't do too well as a patch because it doesn't have all the finishing on that. But the machine has this amazing feature called the Easy Applique feature that makes it really quick and simple to make it into a patch. So once I pull this up, you see I have lots of different shapes that I could choose for my patch. This first one would basically conform to the shape of the cherries. But for this one, I think the round would be a better fit. So I'm going to choose the circle. And then it's a little bit big, so we'll just adjust the size of the circle here real quick. And that looks good to me. And what's happened here, just so you know, is it's added the 3 steps of an applique to the design. So it's going to have a placement, a tack down and a satin stitch, which gives me the finishing that I would need to turn this embroidery design into a patch design. So go ahead and set it, and it gives you one more chance to see. If you don't like the distance at this point, you could cancel and adjust it, but I think that looks pretty good, honestly. So I'm just going to say okay. Now, this is where we're going to start talking about the difference between the border feature and the matrix copy. So on the 1060, we have the border feature here, and those of you who have like the luminaire and the avenir and the stellaire, you have this icon on your machine, and so it's the border function. You have that. And then here on the 1060, this one down here is the matrix copy feature. So first I'm going to start with the border feature. So we're going to tap the key, and you can see here I have choices of horizontal or vertical. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add additional copies of my patch design horizontally. So I'm going to say, okay, add one to the left. Now see how they're touching? That's a little bit close, so then I can come in here and I can adjust the spacing between them. And then I'll say, okay, fit one on the right. And notice how it maintained that same spacing, which is actually pretty cool for copy and paste. And then I've got vertical. I don't think I can fit another one to the side, and it'll tell me, yeah, I can't fit another one to the side, but I can fit another row. So now I'll go to the vertical option here, and then I'll say, okay, I think I'm going to move these up to the top first so I make enough room. And then we'll say add another row below. And same kind of thing, see how it's a little tight? So I'll just adjust the spacing just like that. All right. So again, the border feature is great. It's simple and easy to basically make multiple copies of your design so that they fit in your hoop. But it has a few extra steps over and above what we have on the matrix copy feature, right? So now let's go back to the machine and let's see how it would be different if we use the matrix copy instead of the border feature. So I'm going back till I have a single patch here, and watch what happens. When I touch the matrix copy, a couple things happen. First of all, notice as I adjust the hoop size, it will adjust how many repeats will fit in here, right? So you can see that's a 4x4, that's the 5x7, the 8x12, I can get that many, and here I can get the most here. And then when I adjust here, I have a proportional space apart. You'll notice that it spaces vertically and horizontally at the same time. And if I adjust it enough, it actually is so smart that it knows when, oh gosh, with that spacing, we can't fit quite as many patches in there, right? So you get to a very similar endpoint with the border function and the matrix copy. The matrix copy feature just basically is a little bit more of an automated approach for how to get there. Does that make sense?
It sure does. Everybody's saying they love this too.
Yeah, all right. So let's look at another way. So patches again, and I'll show you the stitch out of the cherry patches in just a second. But let's pop back in here again. And you know, the other way that I use this all the time is making custom embroidered fabric, right? So in that case, maybe I'll pop in here. This is a really cute design here, right? I mean, it's okay all by itself, right? But look how much more interesting it gets when you invite all the friends to the party, right? So,
oh, I love that, Tina.
Isn't that fun? So it's a way for you to take a solid piece of fabric and add some embroidery to it and make it a lot more interesting visually. So let's pop over to the sample table because I think sometimes when you actually see it stitched out, it makes a little bit more sense. So here you can see I've got the little cherry patches, and I didn't pre-cut my fabric because I'm just going to pink around the edges when I'm done because I kind of like that little rick-racky feel to the outside. So now that these are done, all I have to do is on the back side, put the iron-on patch adhesive on the back, and then I can do the pinking cutting around the outside, and my patches are done and they're ready to iron on and attach. So super quick and super easy to do something like that. Now here's the next example is one of kind of making your own custom embroidered fabric, right? So this design, if you love it, it's on the stellaire, and the design itself is just two of the little scarabs here, right? And I don't know about you guys, but if I had to copy and paste manually and adjust my spacing, these things would be all over the world and crooked and everything else. But the matrix copy or the border function allows me to have multiple repeats, and look at the spacing. It's perfect, right? And again, while two scarabs is kind of cool, when you have a whole pillow cover full of them, it gets even cooler, right? And then I've actually got one more. So I made a little floor mat. So look at this design. So again, by repeating it, and filling up all that area, it's really quick to turn something very simple into a large, visually interesting project.
Oh, Tina, I have to say that is gorgeous. That would make a great handbag.
Oh, you're right. Actually, that would be another good application for it. Yeah. And I mean, again, it's so simple because remember, how many times do you have to do copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, right?
Yeah, and then you hope that they're right in the right exact space, and then all of a sudden they're over too far. It's perfect and easy. Somebody's saying, does this come on the Avenir? No, it's on the Stellaire and the 10 needle. But
Yep.
you could use the border function, like she mentioned, in a similar way, but not exactly the same.
Yeah, you just have a few more steps if you use the border function. All right, so now we've done a patch and we've used a single design and we've created our own custom embroidered fabric. I bet I can think of some more ways to use this. So let me look at my cheat notes really quick. Oh yeah, well Angela talked about Artspira a minute ago, and the 1060 is a wirelessly enabled machine. So I wonder if we can use matrix copy with an Artspira design. Let's check it out. So let's pop back over here. And I already know the answer because I've already sent one to the machine. But I'm just going to come in here really quick to my Artspira app. All right, so here I am. I'm going to go to embroidery designs. And I'm going to use a snowflake. I want to make a wine bag or a spirit bag cover as a hostess gift during the holidays. So here under search, I'm just going to start with snowflakes. Here we go, snowflakes. And there is a surprising number of snowflake designs in this app, by the way. So the one I chose is down here a little bit further. Let's see. Oops, my fingers are sticky here this morning. All right, so I use the little snow crystal design right here. So we'll choose it. And it gives you all the information here. It tells you how big it is, how it's only a 2-minute stitch out per snowflake, which is great. It's a one color design, so if I wanted to stitch down further, I could see the colors, but we're good here. So all I have to do is tap create, and it shows up on my workspace here. Now I'm going to use the matrix copy feature on the machine, so I'm not going to do any more edits in Artspira. I could, but I'm not going to this morning, so I'll just put done. And then this is my 1060 machine that it's already linked to, so I'll just hit transfer and say okay. And now it's sent the design over to the machine. So let's pop over to the machine now. Clear the screen here. Now, because I sent the design from Artspira, it's going to be here in the cloud pocket. So we'll just tap in here, give it just a second here. All right, and there's my little snowflake design here. Now I'm going to set it. It's probably hard for you guys to see white on a white background, so I'm just going to come in here and make it blue real quick, just so you can see it easier. All right, so it's cute here. It really is, and I could come in here and I could adjust the size a little bit if I wanted to. Let's make it a little bit bigger. All right, that looks great. Now, if I use the matrix copy at this point, right, it's going to be lined up just like you see the dots here on the matrix copy, right? It's going to have all these rows where everything's nice and straight and lined up. And that's okay, but that actually wasn't the look I was going for. So I'm just going to cancel this one. And what we're going to do instead is I'm just going to pop this one over a little bit, and then I'm going to make a copy. And then I'm going to take the copy and bring it down here kind of like at an angle here, all right? Now, this is kind of a tip trick for you. You'll notice right now only this second snowflake is selected, right? So if I go to matrix copy again, I get exactly what I got last time, right? And that's, again, I said that's not what I'm looking for. So to get a more interesting design here, I can go to the select tool here, and I can say select all. So now I have both of the snowflakes selected, and then I'm going to go here to the group icon. And so now the machine, even though I have two snowflakes on the screen, it sees it as a single design. So check out what happens now when I go to matrix copy. Oh my gosh, isn't that cool? So now it kind of looks a little bit more organic, like it's snowing outside, which is kind of fun. So let's go look. I'm going to pop over to my sample table real quick, and I'll show you guys the spirit bag I made. So first of all, I started with a wine bag blank. So just so you know how I started, so it's a little velvet container. It's flat. Once you're done stitching it, you seam it together, right? So this is where I started. But what's cool about it is it's nice and flat and it's easy to hoop whether you're on a multi-needle or you're on a flatbed machine. And then when we add the snowflakes, look at that. Isn't that amazing? So we can turn it
That's
around.
beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love that. Oh, is that white or silver? Because that is so rich on there.
It's white. And you know what? I wasn't sure if I needed a topper on top of it. Ordinarily, I would have put a topper on because of the velvet, thinking it would sink down in there, but I was being kind of lazy when I did it, so I didn't put a topper on, and it still looks amazing, doesn't it?
It looks absolutely amazing. Everyone's saying, wow. And you, of course, you know what I'm thinking. You lifted that up. I'm like, those are the best sleeves ever.
Oh, that's true. I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah. So as a hostess gift, you can put a bottle of wine in it. This one might have a bottle of whiskey in it. I'm just saying, right?
It's perfect. I love it. I love it.
All right. So remember, you've got all the cool designs that are in Artspira that we can use for that. But, you know, I bet there's some more things that we can do. So let's pop over here. Let me set the whiskey down so I don't spill it. And then we'll see what else we have going on over here, right? All right. So then I was thinking, you know, lettering. Lettering would be pretty fun. Never really thought about lettering, but what would happen if we chose lettering with matrix copy? So let's check this one out, because this one's pretty fun. And I actually made some placemats for Thanksgiving using this approach, which I'll show you in a minute. So pop into your fonts. Now my favorite font for doing that is this one right here, where it's just like the run stitch outline of the letters. And then the hard part for me was figuring out what words I was going to put. So I started with joy and then a space. And by the way, I know this is going to be too big. So with all the letters selected, I'm just going to pop over here and change the size so I have a little bit more real estate to work with. And then I'm going to put Noel and a space, and then I'll put snow. Okay? And you can fit as many as will fit in your hoop, or as many words as are appropriate for your particular project in here. And then we'll go ahead and set that. Okay? Now, at this point, if I use the matrix copy, which I could, right? Let's do it. See how I've got joy, a whole column of joys and a whole column of Noels and a whole column of snow. That's not bad, right? And if I were going to do it that way, I would probably adjust some of the spacing in between them a little bit so I had a little bit more space in between. But if you don't want that, you know, stack of words on top of each other, what you can do is, we'll just move this one up a little bit. We'll go back into our text tool and, oops, that's not what I meant to do. We'll go to the add rather, and we'll go back to our text tool. I'll pick the same font again. And this time I'm just going to rotate the letters. So I'm going to start, instead of with joy, I'll start with Noel. And let's go ahead and match that size so everything's going to track the same way. And then I'll do snow. And then I'll do joy. All right. And so then we'll set that. And then one more, let's go ahead and add a third row. So we'll do add again. And we'll go back to our text tool. And then I just have to keep track of which word goes first this time. So I think snow's first this time. I'm kind of impressed I haven't misspelled anything yet. Good thing I picked simple words, right? And then we'll do joy. And then we'll do Noel. Now don't worry about them being on top of each other, because once I set it, I'll just use the tool here and bring them down. So I'm going to get them about equal distant apart with the vertical offset. And then just like I did with the snowflakes last time, I'm going to pop in here and select the whole set of words. And then I'll group it. All right. And so this time when I do the matrix copy, see how I have, and I need to adjust this just a little bit here. But see how I don't have the words on top of each other? It's more randomized when it actually renders, which I personally like that look better, but either one is fine. So let's go over and look at a stitch out so you guys can see how cool this is. So this was my set of placemats for Thanksgiving. And you can see in this one, I used different words. So mine were thankful, grateful, and blessed. And then we have grateful and blessed, thankful, and then and blessed, thankful, and grateful. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a bunch of different colors in here. There were no thread changes because I used a variegated thread. And so I never had to stop and change a thread for the whole thing. And then I just basically, Isn't that fun?
That's so cool. Look at how beautiful that is, just by moving those around a little bit.
Yeah. And then I just cut out a little turkey shape with a scan and cut out of strip flock vinyl and stuck it in the middle. So, I mean, they look beautiful on the table. So lettering is another good option for that matrix copy feature, right?
Beautiful.
All right. So, of course, I have some more ideas as well. So, what else do we have on the machine that we could work with? We tried designs and we did some lettering. The other thing that we have, let's go ahead and reset our screen here. We also have decorative stitches, right? So it's not a sewing machine, but Brother's awesome and they give us decorative stitches on our embroidery machines. And with the decorative stitches, it's another way for you to create your own custom embroidered fabric, right? So I'm going to pop down for this one, the stitch number 059. It's kind of like little mountains, right? So I'm going to set it, and then I'm going to make it bigger so we can see it a little bit better here. Here. All right. Now you could do it vertically or horizontally. I think in my pillow cover, I actually made it horizontal like this. Okay. And now when I do the matrix copy, I'm going to completely fill the hoop with copies. Now I would like a little bit more distance between the different rows here, so I'm going to increase the distance. And you notice that it's automatically recalculating how many copies will fit, right? But it keeps everything the same distance apart, which I really appreciate. And you get some really cool examples of that. So, let's go over and see the stitch outs because that's really fun. So this one that I just showed you, look at that pillow cover and this is another example of using a variegated thread. So this one was red, basically the rainbow of colors, right? And so I didn't have any thread changes. I basically just said go, and the machine just automatically, the colors change with a variegated thread, and I had an entire pillow cover done in almost no time at all. And I saw someone say, and all my points match. Isn't that true? I would have never been able to do that manually.
Wow, that is so cool. And that's all with variegated thread again, which means that even if you're using a single needle machine, you don't have to change your thread.
Yeah, super quick and super easy. Now, because I know people have other machines other than the 1060, I have a couple other samples because, again, I have this is one of the decorative stitches that's on both the Luminaire and the Avenir, and you have the big flower and then you have the smaller version of the flower as two different decorative stitches. But this is a faux leather or a vinyl zipper bag, and it's gold metallic thread. And again, I used that border feature. I had no distance between them horizontally, a little bit vertically, and look how beautiful that is. I mean, it's totally coordinated, it's completely full, and I mean, it's just a fun way to take plain vinyl and do something different with it, right?
Absolutely gorgeous.
All right, I have one more to show you for just a simple decorative stitch, and this would be a great gift bag for the holidays, right? So look at this one. This stitch in the background here in the white, it's stitch number 11 on the 1060, but you have it on all the machines that have the decorative stitches, so it's in there. And basically, to make the gift bag, I filled the background with that decorative stitch. And then this is just a holiday ribbon that had a fusible on the back, so I just basically ironed that across. And then the big letter here is a puff foam font. So I've got red ultra suede inside of the letter here, and then the satin stitch that's part of the applique was specifically digitized to have that puff foam added underneath it, right? And so it looks really, really rich. I mean, it looks very designer, right? And yet it was a very simple project to do on the machine.
What a great gift, too.
Yeah. So what do you think? You're guys starting to get excited about what you could do with a border feature in the matrix copy?
They're pretty excited. Everybody's saying these things are so much fun. Okay, so what's your favorite so far? Just out of curiosity, I'm going to have to go with that snowflake. That looked awesome. Just a simple snowflake from Artspira. That turned out really cool.
No, that had nothing to do with the fact that there was wine or something else inside the bag, did it?
Absolutely not. Although somebody said it was for, what did she say? Bubbles, bath bubbles for the
Oh,
girls.
that's
I
a
thought
great
that's a great
idea.
idea.
I
Super
love that.
fun.
Yeah, that's a really good
You know,
idea.
you showed something on there. So I'm going to ask the brother fans when I do this next time, and I always forget the one part, grouping the designs together. I don't know why, I always forget that part. And then I'm trying to do the matrix and it only does it with one. I'm going to put a big Post-it note right here. Don't forget to click group. Click on group and then hit the matrix. And I'm sure everybody's going to remind me of this from now on. But you showed that. It's stuck in my head now, Tina, like always.
All right, yeah, you know what they say, repetition, right?
Yep.
All right. So believe it or not, I have a couple other things to show you in case you thought I was completely out of ideas on matrix copy. So let's pop back over to the machine because next up, so I showed you a single decorative stitch, right? And that's what we just did here. But what if we did combinations of decorative stitches, right? Because this gets really pretty fun. So let's pop in here and this is for a zipper bag. So it's like a gray wool zipper bag. And there's these really cool stitches down further in the list. Ah, look at this one, number 73. Look how pretty that is, right? So I'm going to set that. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to make another copy and mirror it so it kind of makes a circle kind of thing. And then I'm going to put another stitch in the middle of it. So I have it here, and then I'm going to copy. And then I'm going to move it to the center so they're at the same vertical height. And then I'm going to mirror image it here. And then all I have to do is scooch it over a little bit until it lines up like that, right? So far, it's been pretty easy. But I want to put another decorative stitch running down the middle. So we're going to do add, and then we're going to come back to the decorative stitches. And in that same basic area, and by the way, you guys should really scroll through here. Actually, I should do it while we're here. There's so many cool choices in here. I mean, you've got simple things like run stitches. You've got some of the heirloom stitches in here. You've got some really detailed things. You've even got stipple stitches in here. And I mean, the list goes on forever, right? So definitely spend some time looking around and seeing what you have available to you. Now, the next stitch I'm going to choose is actually on the screen right now. It's this one, number 77. All right. So I can't really see it yet, but I'm going to slide it over. Whoops, went too far till it's right in the middle. All right, so now I've taken two decorative stitches, I mirror imaged one of them, I've created something that's kind of cool. Now again, I'm going to repeat the group thing. If I go to matrix copy now, the middle one is the only one that's selected, and so that's all that would show up, right? So if that happens, just remember, go to your select tool, select everything, and then everything selected here, and then group it. And now when I go to matrix copy, look how fun that is. Now my bag happened to be more in line with a 5x7 hoop. So, and you can see this is really fun, right? As you adjust the size of the hoop, it adjusts the number of repeats that you have until you have something that's actually pretty cool. So let me show you the zipper bag because I'm really happy with the way it turned out. So look how cute that is. Isn't that adorable?
That is adorable.
And I was actually thinking once I had it done, right, I think you could actually add a frame and a monogram to the center of this too if you wanted to, which would make it fun as well.
That's very cute. That would also make a great gift. And you know, you were talking about little gift ideas. This would be something fun to put a gift card in or something like that for the holidays too, because it just looks so much richer than a plain piece of fabric.
Yeah, because I mean, your alternative would be, oh gosh, thanks, right?
Right, exactly.
All right, so now let's look at something else. Let's do another combination of stitches. This time I'm going to use a decorative stitch and I'm going to use some lettering. So I'm just going to clear the screen here. So the goal here is to make a placemat for the holidays. And I want to have little snowflakes in the background, and then I want to have a message over top of it. All right. So again, I'm going to go into decorative stitches. And by the way, you have a beautiful snowflake in here, number 19. So we'll select him right here. And the first thing I'm going to do is adjust his size. And by the way, I didn't say this earlier, but most of our machines have two different ways to resize. So the one on the left, which is the default, is called simple resizing. So it's not going to change the stitch count, which means I can only make it 10% smaller or 20% bigger. But if you choose the one on the right instead, this one actually changes the stitch count. So I can go down to 60% and up to 200% of the original size. So if you have big size changes to make sure you choose the option on the right-hand side. And so we're just going to max this guy out here. Okay. Now, just like I did with the snowflake from Artspira, I'm going to copy this guy. And then I'm going to take him and drag him down here a little bit more separation like that. And then we're going to group him. All right, and we'll do the matrix copy. Now I'm going to go back to the bigger hoop here because it's for a placemat, so I can fit more things on there. All right. Now that looks great, so I'll set it. Now I'm going to add the lettering. So it's going to be add and the fonts. And this time I'm going to use this script font is really, really pretty. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put Happy Holidays. And again, you have upper and lowercase letters, so you can do all caps, or you can do all lowercase, or you can mix and match like I'm doing here. You guys have no idea how much I'm concentrating on how I'm spelling this right now.
Don't worry, we're watching. We'll let you know, Tina.
Perfect. I love it. All right, so now I'm going to set it. Now I would like the text to be as tall as I can make it. It's plenty wide, but I want it to be taller. So because I've already brought it in here, to change that, I'm going to go back to the T for text editing, and then I'm going to go to the size, and then I'm just going to keep making it taller until, and I don't know if you can hear, but the machine's knocking, telling me that's as tall as I can make it, okay? All right, so right now my design looks really good. The only thing is, for you guys at home, and you'll see in a minute when I show you the sample, I actually stitched it on a placemat that I bought. So it was already made, and so it had multiple layers. And so when I hooped it, I used sticky stabilizer because it was easy enough to do. But I had separation between the bottom, I guess the lining side, if you would, and the top side. And I was afraid I would have some shifting and some of this wouldn't line up really well in the final stitch out. So one of the things that you can do if you're ever doing something like that with multiple layers to kind of keep everything together is on the screen here, add a basting stitch, right? So just that quick button here, and you'll notice it added a basting stitch all around the perimeter of your design. And in settings, you can set how far out you want it from your design. But for me, that way I knew that my top and my bottom layers would stay together while it did the rest of the stitch out, and I'd have a better quality result. So let's check this guy out real quick. And you can see I still have my sticky stabilizer on the back. But again, I used variegated thread for the snowflakes. Let's see, bring it up here. See how cute they are? So they go everywhere from a white to a light blue to a dark blue. And then I have my Happy Holidays on top. And you'll notice my basting stitches are here. And they're really long stitches, so taking out the basting stitches is super quick and super easy when you're done. So again,
that is so cute, Tina. And you know what's interesting is on the screen, I was thinking, are the snowflakes going to stand out too much? That's the perfect embroidery design for underneath those letters because they don't take away.
Yeah, and but the basting stitch is what really makes it kind of come together. So I find lots of customers aren't aware that you have the basting stitches. And again, whenever you're floating things, maybe you have sticky stabilizer and you're doing something where something's floated and you need extra stability, basting stitches are your friend. This one you can see on the back. See how the lining, it separates, right? And so that was my fear when I was stitching, that there would be sort of a little bit of an offset while I was stitching. And so the basting stitches kind of kept everything together and all in line for me. So I was pretty happy with that one.
That looks great. And you know, there's just another one of your fabulous Tina reminders, the basting stitches. And that's on a lot of embroidery machines, if not all, but not, I always say not all because not all the Brother machines, but the basting stitch is so nice. And I had somebody the other day emailing and saying, how do I do that? Why do you do it? And you just explained it perfectly.
All right, I got it right. So I must have had enough coffee this morning, huh?
And you spelled it right too. Double bonus.
All right, so I've got one other one to show you, and I don't know how many of you out there are pet lovers, but I'm a big time pet lover. And this there's two decorative stitches that were on this. So this is a garden flag. So look how adorable it is. I've got a cat with a fish skeleton and a dog with a bone. And then those are repeated all the way down my garden flag. And then I again with my scan and cut, this is white strip flock. So if you haven't ever used it before, it's a heat transfer vinyl, but when you touch it, it feels like velvet. And so it ends up having a lot more color intensity sometimes than some of the other choices in heat transfer vinyl. But if you are a pet lover and you like this concept, the cat and the dog, so the cat decorative stitch is just one repeat like this, and the dog decorative stitch is one repeat like that. So what I did was I put a cat, and then I put a dog under it, and I grouped it, and then I used the border function, or you could use the matrix copy to fill the whole area. And if you like this stitch, it's on, I don't remember if I told you this already, it's on the Luminaire and it's also on the Avenir. So it's a really fun one to use. But again, garden flags, right? Who would have thought that you could take something as simple as a decorative stitch and create such an interesting background or backdrop for a garden flag? Isn't that fun?
Absolutely love it.
All right. So Angela, do you think I'm out of ideas? Do you think I have anything left that I can show you with matrix copy?
I'm sure you do, but before you go, there's quite a few questions for you. So you got a second?
Yes, sure do.
All right, let's hit these. All right, Elsa, great to see you, by the way. What do you use inside to make those bags waterproof, or to make a bag waterproof? Any suggestions? Wait, would that be for the wine bag? It's not supposed to spill.
Yeah, you're supposed to pour it in a glass. You could probably iron on like the vinyl fuse that we sell with a print moda for it. And then I know there are some paint on products that make fabric waterproof that a lot of people who make bags and purses use.
Great idea. Great idea. Hey, Tammy. Oh, from Fresno. Well, it was great to see you too. A dream come true. We got Cheryl. I really like the snowflakes also. However, the monogram on the gift bag was very upcycle. I asked everyone to give their favorite, so there's quite a few. So cool. Michael's been waiting. He's asked us a couple times, can you do this on the PR1X? So Michael, are you referring to, well, we'll just answer matrix. No. Border function. Is the border function on the PR1X?
I don't actually know.
You know, I don't know either.
Michael, production assistant to do a little sleuthing for us while we finish.
That sounds good. The cameraman's going to do us some. So Michael, but I know it does not have the matrix feature. I think that's when you had asked this. So no, the only machines that have the matrix feature are the, I almost said the wrong one. The new 10 needle, the PR1060, and the Stellaire. None of the others. I saw somebody asking about the Luminaire and the Avenir and some of the others. No. But you can use the border function, which is a few more steps like Tina showed you. All right, we got a few more. Judy says, will you cover the stitches on the back of the placemat?
If it was for my family, probably not. If it was a gift for someone else, I might at that point. I might have actually taken the backing off, done the stitching, and then, seamed around with a flip and turn method. But my family's pretty forgiving. They're just happy if they have food.
They don't care about the back. Nobody looks at the back, right?
That's right.
All right. Here we go. I have the Stellaire embroidery only, which I know you love that machine. It's amazing. Are there any alternative designs to incorporate this method? I would go on Artspira.
Yeah, so Artspira for sure. And then third-party designs. So you can bring in designs that you purchase from like an online design company. Those will work with it as well. And I have one more option. I was kidding earlier. I actually have one other way that you can use the matrix copy, which was kind of a mind blower for me. So I'm super excited to show you that too. But we'll finish up questions first.
It looks like, I think we got most of them. Michael said either. So we'll find out about the border function for you, Michael, but I do know that it does not have the matrix. So thank you for clarifying that. And Julie says she wishes you can purchase designs from the other machines to bring like that cat and dog over to her machine. Well, check Artspira though. Check Artspira because that is a Brother app and they do have some of the designs that are in some of our machines. So make sure you look in there, Julie.
And they have some of the decorative stitches too. I know I saw the snowflake in there this morning when I was looking for something else real quick.
Oh, awesome. All right, I think we got everyone. Elsa, I can hear her fine, so it must be your end. Click refresh.
All right.
Okay.
So next, I'm going to show you using matrix copy with, wait for it, my design center for doing some cool kind of whole cloth quilting projects, right? I know it sounds too good to be true, but let's go check it out because it's super easy. All right, so here I am at the machine. Let me clear the screen here really quickly. And we're just going to pop into my design center here. Now, I went in and picked a square and I resized it and it's in the pocket. So I'm just going to pull it out of my memory really quick. But there's nothing magic about it. I picked the square from the shapes and I resized it to a 3.5-inch square. And the reason I did that was because of the hoop size that I intended to use. I wanted to make sure that I could fit 2 repeats up and down and then several across, right? So that's the method of my madness here. So once I bring it in, the first thing I want to do is I want to attach a no-sew. I don't want the outline of the square to stitch. So in my line properties here, I'm going to select no-sew, and then I'm going to come back in and do the flood fill or the bucket and touch it. So that means that the outline of the square will not stitch. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to play with my decorative quilt fills, right? And we have so many. So all of you who have the machines within my design center, you can do the same concept here. All right, so we're going into our decorative fills and we'll hit select. Now I will say I haven't practiced with all of them, but the ones that work really well are ones like this that have a strong central element. So this number 3 is a good pick. Number 11, again, you can see that strong central element is a good pick. This one here, I actually have this one and the number 3 stitched out for you to look at. This is a great pick. Again, you got that strong center, and I think there's another one in here. Yeah, number 36 is pretty awesome too. All right, so kind of lean towards one of those. I'm going to come up, we're going to start with number 3 here. So we're going to pick this one here. Super simple. I'll pick a color that you can see easily. And then flood, fill, and bucket. And I'm just going to touch inside of the square so it's applied my fill. All right. So then we're going to come into the next screen and we're going to do a little bit of editing. Now, the one thing I would say is leave it at 100% because at 100%, see how I've got the complete pattern and I have it centered in my shape really nicely. And then the only other thing I did was I came over here to the thickness and I went to a single thickness here. Because again, it's a lot of quilting and you don't want it to be really heavy. And so once you have that done, then we've created our design, so we'll set it. And you can see it here on the screen. And then check this out. Go to Matrix Copy. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's amazing. It fills the whole thing. It actually creates some additional elements. So now I can actually see a couple different centers. I see a center element here. I see another center element created by the corners coming together. Super duper quick and easy. Now, the real proof of the pudding is in the samples. So let's pop over this to the sample table. And this first one I have done 2 different ways. I'm not sure how well you can see this, but it was for a baby project. So it's white thread on a pink cloth. Look how perfect that is, right? They touch each other perfectly. There's no unintentional overlapping. And another kind of indirect benefit of this is this particular pattern, and this is pattern number 3. There's actually only one tie off in the center of it. So the back is really clean too, right? I don't know if you can see this, but the back is super clean. We don't have a million tie offs on the back. So imagine that you were doing, again, something small like this for placemat, or you were doing a whole cloth baby blanket. It gives you so much quilting detail, if you would, and yet it's simple and easy to do. And then in case you guys are having a little bit of trouble seeing this, this is the same pattern. This was my tester. So it's just cut away, and I used a black thread. But again, see how that pattern, see how this is the original pattern, but then see how you create that other central element here as it repeats. Isn't that pretty?
That's absolutely gorgeous. I would have never, I have to be honest, I'm watching this with my mouth open because I never thought of this, and I love designing fabric. This hits home. This is the best out of all of them so far, Tina. And they were already all good.
All right, so here's that other pattern I talked about. So here I've hooped it already twice. Whoops. And you got a little bit darker fabric in here. But see how this is the center of the pattern itself. But when you match them together, you get all these little heart shapes that come in. And so even though the original pattern is pretty awesome, when you connect them all together like that, it's more awesome or awesomer or one of those.
New word for the day, awesomer. That's absolutely gorgeous. Wow.
Yeah, so for me it was like a game changer and a whole new way to use the design center that I had never even contemplated before.
How, okay, I got to ask, because you always come up with the coolest ideas. How did you even think of this? Because this is a total game changer with the matrix feature. I don't make a lot of patches. I know I'm going to use the matrix feature to do some name tags for gifts this year because I thought that would be really cool. But this one, hands down, is the best.
I sat at the machine and I'm like, I wonder if, and then I wonder if, and then I wonder if, and I hadn't touched the My Design Center button, so I did.
Wow. What do you all think of this? I absolutely love this. Everybody's saying this is so cool. I agree. I agree. Tina, here's a question for you, but it's not pertaining to what you're doing. Everyone is absolutely loving your background. Everybody's commenting on it. Do you want to tell them what that is?
Yeah, it's one of the Hoffman prints. It's a fabric panel of a poinsettia, and then I added 3 border strips. So the panel actually ends here, and then I added a black, a green, and another black border strip to it. And then I used the scan and cut to kind of cut these weird, I don't know, S shapes that kind of made it look like a ribbon. And then I have fake poinsettia flowers from the store where things cost about $1 and gold buttons in it. And then the center, I did edge-to-edge quilting with a flower design. And then I have 2 different of the quilt border designs that we have on our machines, all with a gold metallic thread.
Awesome. Beautiful. Everybody's saying beautiful. Hey, Natalie, I see your question. The matrix feature is not on the 1055. It's on the 1060, if that's the feature you're looking for. I missed your first comment, but I see what you're saying there. So send a private message to Brother Sews and they'll help you figure out what you're looking for. So Tina, this has been amazing. That one's a game changer, I have to say. I love that.
Isn't that cool? All right, so I have one other thing, and it doesn't have anything to do with matrix copy, okay? But, we are in December, and I don't know about you, but I'm about out of time to get ready for Christmas already because I have 2 more trips I have to do this month. So I know a lot of you, when the 1060 came out in August, we also debuted a new embroidery software program called BE Embroidery Studio. And it is a great digitizing software, and I don't have time to do justice for all the amazing digitizing things that you can do. But in the spirit of quick and kind of, I would have never thought of that, gift ideas for people, there's a feature in it that's called printable embroidery that allows you to bring in an embroidery design and then create a high resolution image of it that then you can send to the Sublimation printer or to the Printmoda printer. And for what I'm going to show you in the next few minutes, I actually use the Sublimation printer, right? So I just want to show it to you guys because to me, this was another one of those game changers. Like, I didn't even know this was a thing you could even think about doing, but I love it. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. So first of all, I'm going to show you a quick little video clip of what I did in the software. So, for those of you who have it, you'll know how it happened. All right, so underneath there is an import button that brings in your embroidery design, which I've done. And then you scroll down under File to capture bitmap decoration image. And then you choose how high of a resolution that you want here in this little box here. And I picked 300 dots per inch, but you have a whole range. And then when you press OK, you just basically can save it wherever you want the design to be. And you see it saves it as a PNG. So that's like an image file format. It's no longer an embroidery design. It's an image. But because it's super high def, when you print it, you kind of can fake people out that it's stitched, right? And so the first one I did, so first of all, let me show you the design stitched. And if you like that B design, which is a stunning design, it's actually in iBroidery, which is Brother's online design store. It came out several years ago. It was one of the big designs when the Luminaire first debuted. But let's look at it stitched out. So here it is on the back of a blouse. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, the detail in the B is amazing. I mean, it almost looks like it has fur. Isn't that incredible?
Wow. Wait a minute. That's printed?
No, this is stitched. So I wanted to show you. It really is. It really
I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like a real bee.
I know. But check it out because I thought, well, how often do you think about using an embroidery design on a coffee mug, right? But on the scooch this over here, and I did two things. I did a ceramic tile. I just added queen bee to it. And then
I
I
love
did
that.
the coffee mug, right? So in case you are a person who likes to give people a set of gifts, and let's see if I can do it without the glare. You can actually see the detail in the fill stitches in the bee body, right? It's like next level cool.
That is way, way next level cool. What do you think of that, everyone? This is amazing. Oh wait, there's more. I'm leaving.
Oh, so basically I sent it to the sublimation printer, right? And if you haven't used the sublimation printer, it will automatically mirror the image because then you basically turn it this way to print. But then I just cut them apart with scissors and then I taped them onto the ceramic tile and the coffee mug with heat transfer tape and then I put the ceramic tile went in my heat press for a couple minutes and then the coffee mug I put in the sublimation oven I have dedicated convection oven I have dedicated to sublimation for 15 minutes. And then they were both ready to go. But isn't that a cool idea?
That's unbelievable. That I'm still shocked. I'm still amazed at how beautiful that embroidery is. I mean, I was looking at it, but first I heard printing and I was thinking, whoa, but even the printing design looks so good. But that embroidery design is amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I have it in a wall hanging that's hanging in my supply closet. It needs to get out and get some sunshine, I think. But one other one. So while we're on here, so this design is actually on the PR1060. So this is stitched on a jean jacket. It's close to a 3-hour stitch out if I remember correctly. And it is awesome, right? Really pretty. But I don't know about you. I don't have time for 3-hour stitch outs in December. I got stuff I got to do. So check this out. So this is a white polyester tote bag. And so this one, I spent 60 whole seconds on this one, right? I printed it out with the sublimation printer, stuck in the heat press at 400 degrees for 60 seconds, and voila, I have a coordinating accessory for my jean jacket, and it didn't take me any time at all. And check it out up close. Look at that. You can see the detail of the stitches. It's crazy how cool this is.
Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Everybody's saying, wow, so many ideas. I know. And I've saved some of your questions. So you ready, Tina?
I'm ready.
All right. We have a few more for you.
We need the Jeopardy music. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, actually, you know what? It's funny you said that because I just got this music from Brother that I can use on here, and this is what we need. All right, first question up. It's pretty close. All right, where did it go? Don't let me, I didn't lose it. Okay, Elsa, how large is the bee? It looks great.
It is designed to use the 10 5/8 by 16-inch hoop, so it's big.
That is big.
Yeah.
Rose wants to know, did you embellish your shirt?
I did not. I did this with my credit card.
But you could have. Oh, Cheryl's on here. She won the sketch a couple weeks ago. You're so welcome. I'm so glad you're loving it. And you're probably loving going through Artspira as well.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let me see. Did I miss anybody's questions? Because everybody, 90% of everything was like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. Good morning, Shelly. Rose says, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I know. That's a good way to embellish, but you could have, you're never home to do it. I don't even know how you get all of this done. Everyone says, how great ideas. I agree. They're saying, thank you. Tina, this has been amazing. Great inspiration for designing your own fabric, for making patches. Oh my gosh. I'm still amazed by that bee though. That hands down was so cool. I don't know what was my favorite though. I think I'm gonna have to go with My Design Center because I never thought of doing that with the Matrix feature. And when we're finished, I'm gonna go do that. I think I'm gonna make some wine bags for my sisters.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I know in the gift guide, accessories are still 20% off, right?
Yeah, they are. Accessories are 20% off. What do they need?
So we
Oh,
might
yeah.
need the M clamp because everybody wants their name on their stocking. Poor little Elsa called me up and said she needed her name on here. And the M clamp is actually a pretty cool accessory. You just basically pop these little guys here, and the top comes up. I guess I got to do them both at the same time. There you go. Top comes up and it swirls. It's got a rubber and a velvet side. So even if you had delicate fabrics like velvet, it won't mar the fabric. But yeah, well, accessories are 20% off. I'd pick up an M clamp if you don't have one.
That is a great idea. That's a great idea. We were also talking about the magnetic frames. They call the flash frames. Those are great. The 4x4 and the 5x7. We were playing with that last week. Those are 2 more game changers. 20% off for the multi-needle.
That's right.
Miss Maureen has another question for you. The rose bag that you did in matrix copy.
Oh, yeah.
Was that from My Design Center?
No, that's actually one of the decorative stitches that's on the luminaire and the avenir.
All right, perfect. They're saying you are the queen bee. I agree. I agree. Awesome show. Tina, I'm really glad you were on as I'm pulling hair out with my cheaters. I'm really glad that you were on at the beginning of this month because now I have time to go play before the holidays. I'm not sure what I'm going to do first, the snowflake wine bag or making my own fabric with My Design Center. I'll let you know. You know.
Perfect. Awesome.
Tina, thank you so much. Everyone, thank you for being here. Even if you're watching the replay, leave your comments and questions below. Is there something you'd like Tina to show you next? Because she seems to blow us away every time. No pressure at all, of course.
You're so kind. Thank you.
Yes. So the rest of you, I will see you tomorrow on my show, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, and I will see you back over here on the Brother Live show at noon on Thursday. May Flom is on here using the drawing feature on the Scan and Cut and showing you some hand embroidery tips. So lots of fun things for the holidays. Tina, can't wait to see you again, and good luck with your next few trips. Any trips that the Brother fans should know about that there's still room for them to sign up?
Yeah, I'll be down at Ruthie's Notions this coming weekend. I leave tomorrow for that. And then after that, I'm going to Memphis for an Artspira video shoot. So don't forget Artspira. It's awesome.
Artspira is amazing. Oh, yes. Ruthie's down in Florida. So that would be really good compared to the weather we've got here.
That's true.
All right. Until next time, everyone, happy sewing. Don't forget to, I think Brother had posted this a second ago. Let me just bring this up again. Don't forget to use hashtag Brother Sews when you're showing this because they love to see what you're working on. And you never know. Sometimes they share it too. All right. Till next time, happy sewing. Tina, thank you.
Thank you.